In a fast-paced, social media-driven world where everybody's after the quickest profit turnaround in all time, sometimes corners can be cut, not just as consumers, but also from a business perspective. And it's not impossible for you to then end up with fake gold or silver in your collection. And that's not good at all. You do not want that to happen. So in today's video, I want to talk about the trust that we seemingly put in sometimes unfounded businesses, or at least untested waters. What can we do as consumers to better protect ourselves from being a victim of fake gold and silver? Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and welcome to another edition of Things to Think About Before You Buy or Sell Gold and Silver. And today I want to talk about trust, and the trust that we put as consumers on dealers and sellers of precious metal, whether it's the biggest and best dealer in the UK, the US, whoever it might be, or a very reputable seller on social media, peer-to-peer markets, maybe even myself. You really should be doing your own due diligence and not just taking the word of other people. Certainly in a crazy world that we live in where anybody can kind of set up their own bullion business and get a really convincing looking website and even pay £189,000 to a prominent politician with a massive social media following to be a brand ambassador. There are a lot of pitfalls in this modern social media connected world, and it's important that the buck stops with you. How many of you, ask yourself right now, have bought something from a dealer and just gone, yep, okay, that's great, and stuck it in the safe, and not even bothered testing it, looking at it? Maybe you got a tube of Britannias from a dealer and you haven't even opened it. I guarantee you there are a lot of people who do that. It might sound strange to some of you, and for those that do a lot of testing and make sure that what you get is genuine, then it might not sound strange to you, but it's very common. And I think it's something that is a little bit of a warning sign. And that's why having a machine like a Sigma Pro, which is, to be fair, the massive sledgehammer of all sledgehammers when it comes to precious metal testing. There are other models available, and you can find all of them linked in the description box below, with Trusty Metrics, the UK's exclusive supplier of the Sigma Metalytics machines. This particular one is mine, my Pro, and I use it for my stacking as well as my business. It's a fantastic machine, and I would highly recommend it. I have been sold a fake coin from a dealer in the past. I didn't have one of these machines at the time. It'd been very interesting to see how that would have been tested on one of these machines. But doing your due diligence is really, really important. We'll talk a little bit more about Trusty Metrics and these machines later in the video. But for now, what I do want to say is that the buck stops with you. And there are a lot of people that just assume, and assumptions are dangerous. They really, really are very dangerous. And it's very important to make sure that you are doing some due diligence when it comes to who you're buying from. Now, I mentioned the prominent politician that was paid £189,000 recently for basically 48 hours worth of work across a particular year as a brand ambassador, and how he believes in gold and, buy gold from this company. I'm not going to name the company, I'm not going to name the politician. You probably worked out or probably heard who it was already. I don't really know enough about either of them to really comment on it much further than that. But the point here is that there is nothing stopping somebody with a lot of money going over and finding Elon Musk or whoever it might be and convincing them to go and say, go and buy from joeblogsbullion.com because they're great. And it could happen for me. I'm very conscious and careful about who I try and be sponsored by. There have been a lot of companies that have got in touch with me over the years asking for me to have affiliate bonus code links down in my description boxes for their companies and their websites and their products. And I can get a 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6% kickback on some bits. I've got plenty of examples of that in the past. And then, yes, why don't do affiliate bonus codes? When we do if you go and buy a Sigma from Trusty Metrics today using the link in the description, I don't get any kickback from that. They've sponsored today's video. That's a one-off sponsorship. They're going to be, sponsoring our channel ongoing. That's what I prefer. If you want it, you get it. And I've got some experience because I've worked with that company before and they're fantastic. And the same can be said for any bullion dealing that I promote as well. If there's a bullion dealer out there, that's what I would rather promote, rather than just some random company setting up and just then having X, Y, and Z person hyping things up. because that's the danger point. And you've got to kind of ask yourself, if a particular company is spending £189,000 on, that's an absurd amount of money, £189,000 on a particular brand ambassador, then you've got to question how much money is the company going to be raking in at the other end. And there's a fantastic video from Lawrence Chard, and his very, very good, I can't remember the name of his friend is in the videos, his colleague in the video. They did a fantastic video of this whole situation and some of the interesting reactions on social media to the sort of revelation of this. So go and check that out. I'll try and link that in the description box below. That's well worth a watch. It's very interesting. But the point here is that these kind of Joe blogs from your bedroom business that doesn't take things seriously will make mistakes. Now I'm going to tell you a little story about how I got sold a fake coin, fake gold coin from a bullion dealer. So I have no qualms in naming the dealer. It was Atkinson's. It was all resolved incredibly well. It was about 7 years ago now, maybe. I have to have a look in through my video history. I basically bought a Saudi gold sovereign. It's like a guinea, I think it's called Saudi guinea, basically the same size and dimensions as a sovereign. Saw it on their second-hand page, bought it, got it, looked great, made a video about it, and showcased it on YouTube. And then there were a bunch of comments going, by the way, that's fake. And I was like, no, it's not fake. It came from Atkinson's. It's completely real. And it actually was fake. It was a jeweler's copy. I was shown what real ones should have looked like. I asked for some advice on the Silver Forum, and people said just get back in touch with Atkinson's. I did, and they resolved it, and they were very apologetic. It wasn't that they were genuinely trying to scam me, but mistakes happen. Everybody's human in this world. And unfortunately, mistakes will happen. And I've got to kind of question a lot of the smaller businesses out there that cut corners because costs are high at the moment. And you know, costs are high at the moment, and there are a lot of businesses out there, that small bullion businesses, that won't operate with pieces of machinery that can test bits of gold and silver. There are easy ways. If you're a business and you're a genuine business and you're looking to get set up in the world of gold or silver, at a bare minimum, you should be getting one of these types of machines. They are, for the full pro with all of the whistles and bells, you're looking at about £2,500. You probably get a discount if you're VAT registered. So it's not actually really untoward for a new business to be getting this in. But the amount of armchair businesses that don't bother because they think that they know better, and they think that they can just sit there and say, oh, I know what a sovereign looks like. It's not always as simple as that. And all it takes is one coin to slip through the net and you be in some serious trouble. Not worth the risk, in my opinion, at all. And the Sigmas are a really great piece of kit for that. One of the big worries that a lot of people have is getting like a tungsten cored piece of gold. Not had one come across my sphere of influence at the moment, but there is a misnomer that the Sigmas will be fooled by one of those machines. That is not true. The Sigmas will find, more often they will find a tungsten cored piece of gold than an XRF machine will. So an X-ray fluorescence machine will actually only penetrate through a couple of millimeters on these, and a really thick clad gold coin can fool XRFs. The Sigmas are really good at beating those kind of things. They're not infallible. They can have their limitations, and they do have their limitations. If a particular coin is not in the coin's database or the machine's database, it will not necessarily find them. In fact, I had, it was out here already. So this is a secondary market sovereign. This is one of the slightly better versions that actually does register quite well on this machine. But I, for example, had some coins come through the Backyard Bullion Buyers Club a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago actually, and I decided that I was going to not sell them because I could not guarantee the purity of the particular coins, and that's because they weren't coming up on this particular machine correctly. Now, I did get a follow-up from the person who had those coins, and he'd sold them to one, I can't remember which one it was, one of the big dealers, so I won't speculate, but he sold them to one of the big dealers, and he said they tested it and it was all fine at that 22 carat. But this machine said no, it was all the way off in the red. Didn't want to have anything to do with it from putting my reputation on the line. And so, you buy these coins from And it's not just the big dealers out there that you really have to worry about. I mean, yeah, the big dealers, you're 99.9% likely not to have a fake come through, but it's not impossible for it to happen. You're the one where the buck stops, but it's the smaller, less scrupulous businesses, the ones that maybe, if you're buying a 1 ounce gold coin and you see something that's going to be a couple of quid shy of your nearest competitor, and you go, ha ha ha, I'm saving money. And it turns out to be fake because you don't know what to check or how to check it or have a machine to check it. And you could be really unstuck. 1 ounce of fake gold is going to cripple any stacker. It's not good at all. And if you've got to make 10% on your gold, you have to sell 10 other ounces to make up just the losses on the one singular coin that you were messed around with. Nah, not going to happen. So the buck stops with you. Make sure you're doing your due diligence. That starts with having a good hard look at who you're buying from, and also then when you get the coins, making sure that you're doing everything right to ensure it is genuine. And not just from dealers, from third party as well. Of course, peer-to-peer stuff is really important right now. The peer-to-peer stuff on the Silver Forum is incredible, and I've bought so much incredible valued stuff out there over the years. This quintuple sovereign, for example, spot price on a quintuple now is what, 2575, something like that. So big profits to be had, big profits to be made, but you need to make sure that these are genuine, because if I bought this and it was fake, I'm out 1,500 quid, but I'm also out the £1,000 profit that this coin has made me over what, 4 years? Oh, that's some ridiculous amount of profit. It's stupid how the world is going with gold and silver. So there we have something to think about before you buy or sell gold and silver. I hope you've had a bit of enjoyment from this video, and I hope it's been enlightening. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section about the brand ambassadorship of £189,000. If there are any bullion dealers out there that want to pay me £189,000 for 48 hours worth of work, then I would probably say no, actually, because I think that would be a little bit disingenuous. But if there are any bullion dealers out there that want to work with us as an ethical sponsor, as a non-fear-mongering kind of way, then that's what we work with, and that's the kind of companies that I like to work with, like we did with Atkinson's. So as you saw, I bought the fake guinea from Atkinson's. That has not qualmed my ability to use them or recommend them or sponsor them. And as you saw maybe last week with the absolutely ridiculous 500 10th ounce 10th ounce Britannias, that's it. I was going to say 10th ounce 1 ounce Britannias, but that's not right. 10th ounce Britannias for spot. It's just incredible. So yeah, there we go. That's my thoughts on the matter. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I don't know if I have a serial number for, oh, I do have a serial number on this little gold Christmas bar from the Royal Mint. Test everything from the Royal Mint as well, because last thing I'll say for the cool kids clubs before I can get this even in focus to give you the serial number is, you've heard, the Perth Mint had an issue with the purity of their gold. Not saying that the Royal Mint has had an issue with the purity of their gold, but they buy their gold and silver from third parties, and you would hope that they guarantee everything, but make sure it is indeed genuine. Very, very important to do. So if you're cool, you need to quote me the serial number CH000884. If you do that, then I will know that you are very cool. Thank you all for watching, and a huge shout out once again to Trusty Metrics. Go and check them out, links in the description box below. Otherwise, that's it from me. We'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.